Unprecedented bird flu outbreak is exacerbating the cost of living crisis again. Food supply. An unprecedented bird flu outbreak has made the cost of living crisis even worse, according to experts who warn that the number of poultry culled has almost doubled since the last season. According to figures from the World Organization for Animal Health, WOAH, over 22 million cases have been reported in wild birds and poultry so far this season in 68 countries. That's almost half the world. The information was shared exclusively with The Telegraph, who also reported that the figure is double the 11 million recorded between October 2020 and September 2021, which itself was an all-time high. Of course, this could not possibly have been expected or planned even. The Telegraph reports in an effort to curb the outbreak, 94.2 million farmed poultry have been killed and disposed of compared to 54.4 million last season. Before 2020, the number of birds culled to stem the spread of avian flu worldwide has only topped 15 million twice. Experts say the surge, which comes amid a cost of living crisis and mounting food insecurity triggered by Ukraine and extreme weather, has further disrupted supply chains, contributing to higher prices. This is a devastation in the market and supply perspective. Kathleen Liang, director of Center for Environmental Farming System in North Carolina, says, remember that the chicken comes with the egg. The cost of both has definitely gone up due to bird flu, compounded by inflation and import-export challenges. As she said, bird flu is one of the combined factors that is driving food insecurity. In the UK, which has also been hit by an unprecedented bird flu season, some restrictions to protect poultry and captive birds were lifted in May, but an avian influenza prevention zone remains in place, meaning bird keepers have to follow strict biosecurity measures. Professor Munir Iqbal, head of avian influenza virus group in the Pirbright Institute in Surrey, told the Telegraph that the risk to agriculture remains high due to ongoing spread in wild populations. And there is, of course, a constant threat for the farmers. For example, at least 3,000 birds have died in the Farne Islands off the coast of Northumbria, according to the National Trust, in the worst disaster to hit its colonies near 100 years. Meanwhile, the Scottish government agency NatureScot has advised 23 islands to halt visitors in a bid to limit the spread of bird flu. Farmers are in constant threat from the disease outbreak at any time, Professor Iqbal says. Even during the summer months, outbreaks with H5N1 bird flu are being reported, which means that the virus is prevailing in wild birds and being disseminated to poultry. The cost of production is increasing due to both disease outbreaks and feed prices, which affects the livelihood of farmers as well as affordability for customers. He says the price of both poultry, meat, and eggs has significantly increased in the UK and other countries. Professor Iqbal says that the issue is unlikely to dissipate quickly, and there are mounting fears about what the next flu season could look like. This has been an unprecedented season for the level of avian flu infection, Dr. Christine Middlemiss, UK Chief Veterinary Officer, told BBC Radio, saying, "We are really concerned about what the next autumn-winter season will bring when the migrating birds return again." A DEFRA spokesperson said, to date, 2.75 million birds have been culled in the UK, a small portion of the 20 million birds produced each week in the poultry industry. The UK is experiencing its largest ever outbreak in bird flu, and our teams are working around the clock to support poultry keepers impacted by this terrible disease. These issues are not going away. Grady Ferguson, senior researcher analyst at the data consultancy Grow Intelligence, said that while new cases have tapered off, the losses will continue to impact this industry, potentially for years, as did the US 2014-15 loss of 50 million birds. That was the worst animal health disaster in US history, he said. This year, the US has so far lost 40 million. More losses may begin in the fall as migratory birds, a major suspected bird flu spreader, head south for the winter. It's not clear what has driven the current surge, but experts say the scale of the rise means it's unlikely to reflect better surveillance, especially in poultry, where disease has always been closely tracked. Instead, factors including a more transmissible strain, shifting migration patterns, rising contact between free-range poultry and wild birds, climate change, or an unexpected influenza epizootic have all been discussed. This is by Neam Harris on News Punch. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.